Super Bowl champion, man, veteran quarterback, 15-year NFL veteran, Florida State alum. This guy right here, man. Let's bring him in, Brad Johnson. Bring him to the show. What's going on, Brad?
All right. So, Coach JB, Smitty, you guys are off the chain this morning, man.
I see you in the background laughing.
Hey, Brad, you made it TikTok famous, man, for making all these damn hoop shots, man. I was a hooper too, but you make some crazy. You and your family, man, that's unbelievable. I was like, damn, Brad Johnson on TikTok. And you got me going on TikTok, man. I was like, shit, let me get on TikTok, man. I was like, shit.
Hey, I got on there and during the pandemic, I said, I'm coming up with a nickname. I don't want people to know who I am. So I figured out. So I go by Big Bad Brad, back by popular demand.
Yeah. I know. I couldn't find you on Twitter. I was like, what the hell is his name on here? I was like,
Triple B,
Brad,
Triple B.
I'm not going to lie, Brad. I looked at it. I was like, that gives me porn name vibe. I was like, is this a porno name? I was like, what the hell's his name? Big Bad Brad. I'm like, what the hell? And Smitty, then he throws in 14. I'm like, well, what the fuck does that mean? 14-inch motherfucker. Hey, Brad, I got to ask you. We got a common friend here that's on our show every week, and he speaks so highly of you, but you got to give this man some shit because he's off the show right now until the season, but Shaun King comes on here and just raves about he should have started over you and he should have never got screwed over by Brad Johnson. I'm just kidding, but he loves you. But Shaun, I know Shaun's watching right now. So Shaun, I'm like, Shaun, you shouldn't have started over Brad. Shut up.
Nah, Shaun's the man. He had a great career, and I actually ran into a basketball coach about a year ago that he actually raved about Shaun playing at Tulane also. So he's a multi-sport athlete and he had some great years there with the Bucks and moved on and all that kind of stuff. But I'll give Shaun, there's a credit that he never gets talked about with our Super Bowl year. Honestly, we were playing up at Carolina and I was sick and I was out for the day. I was in the locker room and then Rob Johnson was starting that day and then Rob got hurt. And we win this game 12-9. Martin Gramatica hits a 53-yard field goal at the buzzer kind of thing. But Shaun was standing there on the sidelines. He had his helmet in hand. He came in for one play, and it's a play that doesn't ever get talked about. Like you try to tell all the high school kids and college kids to stay ready. But Shaun was ready. Like, and obviously he didn't have a chance to really play that day. And it's weird how the NFL works out. But he was ready for that moment. It's a play that doesn't really get talked about. And, otherwise you don't win that game. You don't win the division. You don't get home field kind of stuff. So, but had a great relationship with Shaun, a lot of respect. And so it's kind of, now you keep up with everybody on social media,
Yeah, he raves about you, man. He's out in Vegas now and doing his thing. So hopefully he'll be back on during the season, Bam. Yeah. But yeah,
he does a great job, like on with media and all that kind of stuff and really critiquing quarterbacks. He'll give you a straight up call on a lot of the quarterbacks and a lot of players coming out. He's seen them all. He has a really good feel for that kind of stuff. So, hopefully everybody gives him a chance to kind of get in that media world and covering games. He obviously coached football at South Florida, so he's one to listen to, no doubt about it.
No doubt. Man, I got a couple questions for you. I got to ask you right out the gate, the 98 Vikings team, everyone knows how great that team was under Brian Billick and everything, Dennis Green. Randy Moss, I believe, what was his rookie year? Yeah, Chris Carter and who was it? Jake Reed, Robert Smith. I mean, damn. Yeah, I was just thinking about it. You started the season and then you sprained your ankle, I believe, or get hurt. What was it, ankle or knee or something?
Actually, I started the game. We beat Tampa the first game, threw 4 touchdowns. Next week, started against St. Louis, beat them, and I broke my ankle. Then Randall Cunningham was there, and he came in, got hot. And then about game 9, I got healthy again, and Randall went down in the first series of game against the Saints. So I played the whole game, and in the fourth quarter, I break my thumb.
Damn.
And so after the game, I don't know if you remember the movie Rocky Balboa, and him and Creed are in the hospital. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, that was me and Randall. So I'm getting a CAT scan on my thumb, and he's getting an MRI on his knee, and then they say I had a broken thumb, and he did like a procedure on his knee, and he kept playing. And then he had an incredible year that year. I think he threw 30. I think he threw 34 touchdowns that year. I think 34 or 41. I can't remember. Maybe threw 41 total. And so I only played like 3 games that whole year, but Randall was the MVP. That team was on. I think we had 11 guys make it the Pro Bowl, and 15-1. Then we won the Arizona game, playoff game, lose to Atlanta, but something that doesn't get talked about. We actually won we won all 4 preseason games too. And it was an incredible year. I had the all-time points record set, and we drafted Randy. I remember the very first day he got there, like he can't outthrow this guy. So Brian Billick had us drop back and see if we could just 5-step drop and how far could we throw it, and couldn't outthrow him. I mean, he could just go get it. Randy told me, he said, listen, I'm never running full speed. I'm always setting them up. And unless it's Dale Carter, Darryl Green, or Deion Sanders, otherwise just throw it as far as you can and I will go get it. And that's what he did. And he brought a mentality that was just like no other. I remember in our we were doing our scouting report on Wednesday. We're playing against Dallas Cowboys, actually. And so the running back coach, he gets up, talks about the linebackers, and the offensive line coach talks about the defensive line. Then Axe Hubbard was our receivers coach, talking about their secondary. And Randy says, sit your ass down. Doesn't matter what covers they play, doesn't matter who they have out there, I'm going to run right by them. And that was the truth. So a lot of times you couldn't even watch film on other teams because the way Randy, he just expanded the whole game. And other teams, Green Bay and Detroit, they started drafting different just because of what Randy did on the field. And obviously with Chris Carter and Robert Smith and Jake Reed, it was a pretty special group.
Not to bring up bad memories, but how demoralizing was that game, that Falcons game, at 15-1? And I know a lot of I'm good friends with Shaun Salisbury. I do a show with Shaun after this, and he was a Viking also, and he talks about it too. And just watching it after he was gone, but he was like, man, just a demoralizing loss after that great season. Is this still something you think about, or is it is what it is? That's the NFL.
Yeah, no, Shaun had a big impact on my career. We were together for like 6 years, I think, in Minnesota, so I had a big impact on my career. But no, you don't get to have 15-1 seasons. And in the NFC Championship game, Atlanta Falcons were 14-2 that year. Also, now they were legit too now. So we were 13-point favorites going into the game. We had a critical fumble right at the end of the half. We probably should have taken a knee, to be honest with you, going the half, get booed out of your own stadium with a 10-point lead, but we ended up giving like a field goal up right there in the half. And then, everyone talks about the kick at the end of the game, which we would have gone up by 10 with about 2 minutes to go, but it didn't happen. And that was the first kick that Gary Anderson missed all season. I didn't see him miss in practice. Best kicker I was ever with. I actually think he tried to slice it in there, to be honest with you, because the guy on the right missed his block, and I think he tried to cut it in there. I don't know, but it was just, then they went down and actually scored. Like, we had 2 or 3 interceptions to intercept Chris Chandler at the time, and then he made a great drive. Then they have Morton Anderson kicks the game-winning field goal in overtime. It's tough. It was one of the hardest locker rooms I've ever been a part of. Like, you're just sitting there like it's in front of you, a chance to go to the Super Bowl. You got to win it when you get there, though. That's the truth. You're going to have to play the Denver Broncos. You got to win it, so you can't just say you're going to win it.
Right.
But that opportunity, and but it was just we had a lot of, and then when it's over, your team gets broken up. Brian Billick, he went to be a head coach at the Ravens. Then you can't. It's just hard to duplicate what took place that year. All-time points scored record at that time.
No doubt.
That's what's up with football. Yeah, go ahead, JB. You got it.
Last thing I just want to tie it together with this past Vikings team with Sam Darnold, who I coached and coached against and everything, and seen him out here in LA growing up. I've been saying I think he's with some competence and some culture and some not 4 head coaches and 6 OCs and 2 bad franchises with the Jets and the Panthers. I think the guy's good. Well, he proves it. He proves me right, at least. And I stood by him. I said, man, the guy hasn't had a shot. Now he's with a competent head coach and OC in a structured environment, great wideouts, blah, blah, blah. He goes. And the Vikings do a great job. Now, do you see what I see, or are you looking at this like, all right, now he's going to go to Seattle and everyone's going to bash him again because Seattle's not going to be as good as Minnesota? And do you look at that Vikings team last year in a great NFC North and compare it to that 15-1 year of yours?
Well, yeah, 14-2, 15-1 are very similar. The difference was the game got changed that year with Randy Moss. Like, it was nothing. I mean, he was scoring 43 points a game. And the rules have changed now. But the 15-2, whatever they had last year was elite. But I quibble a little bit to Baker Mayfield. He got with an organization that's sound from up top. They're drafting players, they're keeping players. They got a support system around him. like you really have to be patient with quarterbacks. There's not enough patience with quarterbacks these days. And Sam Darnold was chosen first or second pick of the draft for a reason. Very talented guy, just needed patience. He actually got to, I think he's 4-2 with Carolina when he left the Jets. And then he had a great, he got to take a pause with the 49ers. You know what I mean? Like learn system football, learn what team chemistry is all about. You've seen the success they've had. And then he got to be a part of a special head coach, play caller, Kevin O'Connell, and just great players around him. So it was an elite year for him. Now he has a chance to back it up again in Seattle. So it'll be fun to watch him. But I just don't think there's enough patience with quarterbacks these days. And I do think they're thrown in the fire too fast. You know, I remember the thing of, you know, in college, we used to be redshirted, you know?
Right.
and you were kind of scared of the seniors, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They put your nose into the dirt, you know? And now, same way going to the pros, like, you know what, I'll work my way into it. When you see the Super Bowl winners, like, honestly, quarterbacks like, you know, Aaron Rodgers sat for 3 years, Kurt Warner sat, Tom Brady sat, Eli Manning sat, Joe Flacco was out for a little bit, Mahomes, he was out for 15 games, Steve McNair, Michael Vick, they sat for a year or so. Like, they were groomed into this right way of doing it. And I just think sometimes we put it all, you know, who's making the decision? Is it the coaches, the owners, or the fans? And I think play the kid when he's right. And also the age thing's a big difference too. Jaden Daniels last year, he's 24, 25. Bo Nix, he's 24, 25. He's not in his second, third year out of college. So maturity matters. But I'm pulling for Sam Darnold, though.
No doubt.
I love it. Well, moving on to your Super Bowl team, you know, with the Bucks, I guess talk about how dominant that team was. I know that you guys were known heavily on the defensive side, but you guys also made a lot of big time plays offensively when needed to make sure that that you could be that. You're not that great if you're not putting up points either. You know what I'm saying? So just talk about just how dominant that team was in that Super Bowl year in that run.
Yeah, obviously, you know, it's always known for this defense. You know, we've had 4 guys make Hall of Fame with John Lynch, Rondé Barber, Warren Sapp, and Derrick Brooks. And hopefully Simeon Rice, he's one of the Ring of Honor here now. But Jon Gruden brought in a lot of juice and brought in a lot of players too now. Keenan McCardell, in his own right, could be a Hall of Fame player. Like, honestly, like, had that talent. Joe Jurevicius, he's been to 3 Super Bowls, brought him in. He's our X factor. And then Keyshawn Johnson, he was a great player for us at that time. And then what he did, he brought in Robin Oben, our left tackle, Kerry Jenkins, our left guard, and then had Michael Pittman as a running back who caught 75 balls out of the backfield. So, and then Mike Allstott. So it wasn't like we were a bunch of wooden Indians over there. We just get overshadowed by the great defense that we had. But it was a total team that took place. And I think what gets lost too is some of the great coaches we had. Like Mike Tomlin was on there, went on to win 2 Super Bowls. Rod Marinelli became a head coach. Rich Bisaccia became a head coach. Raheem Morris, he's a quality control head coach. Jeremy Bates became a play caller. Like Bill Muir's offensive line. Then Monty Kiffin. I mean, like it was star-studded from players to coaches. But the thing about that building, no one on that team had won a Super Bowl. And Gruden drove us. Like we hung on every word that he said to get it done. Winning the Super Bowl was a special thing, but I honestly think beating Philadelphia in the NFC Championship game, they'd beaten us 4 straight times at one point, and so we closed down the vet in the NFC Championship game. And then next year opened up the Lincoln for them, with wins. But to get that done, it was a special time. And so when you look at the Hall of Famers, what changes people's lives. We've had 4 guys go and make the Hall of Fame. They've had 1 in Brian Dawkins, but Philadelphia was loaded with star-studded coaches too, with Sean McDonough and Leslie Frazier and John Harbaugh and the whole thing. But that team was a special group that we had in Tampa, and Gruden took us over the top with it.
Yeah, love it.
No doubt. I got to ask you. Let me ask you. Your son had a bad injury. Belichick takes over this North Carolina team. What are you seeing, or what are you hearing, or what are you looking forward to there? And how's your son's recovery?
Yeah, Max, I got 2 boys there. Jake's a tight end, and Max is quarterback. Last year, he broke his femur in the first game of the season. Max is almost full speed right now. Like, it's been at first they thought they might have to even amputate his leg. Like, it was that serious of a deal. But his recovery, we've put a few videos out there, and there'll be some stuff coming out here soon. But like, he's back to dunking a basketball and almost full speed again. So it's been incredible recovery, and I look forward to him playing this year. But with Coach Belichick being there, like he's been all ball. with the kids. I know there's a lot of things off the field that gets talked about, but he's been all ball with those kids, the way the practices ran. He spends a lot of time with the quarterbacks and just talking situational football. And it's a totally different environment, but I don't think Mack Brown gets enough credit for the Hall of Fame coach he is. And then where he took Carolina football, but where Belichick's at now, it's a different drumbeat, obviously, but it's pretty awesome opportunity for all those kids to get coached by someone like him,
No doubt. I got a question for you, man. So having two kids playing, college football, we talk about it all the time. The game has changed. It's just with the transfer portal, NIL, things like that. You were just as a father and a great player yourself, I guess how has it been just trying to, educate, manage, even learn just the era that we're in today and kind of dealing and managing the NIL situations and transfer portal, things like that?
I don't get it, to be honest with you. I mean, to be honest with you, like when we played, I know it's a different era, but we got $10 per diem after games and we did real two days and, those kind of things. And to transfer, you lost a year of eligibility. There have been a lot of kids that transferred. And it's worked out well for them. But with the NIL, I don't even like to call it NIL. I mean, name, image, and likeness, I think it's just collective pay for play. I mean, just call it for what it is. NIL it's a joke from that, however they want to do it. There needs to be a standardized deal. I wish every kid was getting paid money. So if they pay a kid to come in, then they're going to play the kid. I mean, I haven't seen it done any other way yet. Okay.
Yeah,
Not best player plays. I haven't seen that yet.
No doubt.
To be honest with you. So they're going, the coaches got to go back and get money from the collectives again. So that's what happens. And hopefully they make the right decisions on money things. But I do wish every kid got paid to some degree and they could regulate it, instead of just having a certain group of guys get it and then let it be, let it go out that way. But but it's hard. Coaches they're upset with the portal, but then they're happy with the portal too because they're losing players, getting players. But it's hard on kids too because you don't know the portal kids that they're bringing in at your position, and then if you have to get out, you got to get out early to even have a spot in December, and then you miss your bowl games. And I don't know I know y'all talked about it endless hours, but I don't know if there's a right answer on any of it right yet.
It's a wild, wild west, man. It's crazy to me. I don't know if I could coach it. There's just no way. It's unbelievable. Let me ask something. I know I read something, but I was talking to Salisbury because we do a show after this one. But are you related to Richt, Mark?
Yeah. And that's what I was going to say. Mark Richt, he was my QB coach at Florida State. And so in our room, we had Casey Weldon, who was the runner-up to the Heisman, and then Charlie Ward won a Heisman, national championship, 11-year NBA career. Chris Winkie was national championship and Heisman, and Kenny Felder was a first-round baseball pick, and then we all thought each other stunk. You know what I mean? Like, who's going to play? But Mark, he made an impact on us, and he's my brother-in-law. He became the head coach at Georgia and Miami, just made College Hall of Fame. But, like, there was relationship base. Now with the portal and things like that, I don't know how much relationship, the impact, and that was a big part of Bobby Bowden at Florida State, and then obviously Mark, and then he carried on to his coaching staff. But that was more of felt like it was more of impacting lives and winning games at the same time, to be honest with you.
That's what college is supposed to be, man. I think we've ruined the fabric. And the total question I had about that was that's why I wanted to make sure you had that relationship with Mark. How, I guess, incremental was he to your boys? Like, did you have him around Mark as far as coming up through high school and stuff? Knowing what a college guy expects at that level of being at Georgia and Florida State?
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, so for them, they just call him Uncle Mark.
Right.
and he coached, the head football coach at Georgia. Like, we're sitting there in the stands, we're running around, there's little kids running around, eating popcorn in the boxes, running around the field after games. Like, he was just known as Uncle Mark, not really the head coach. He's out there playing cornhole with our kids. And 4th of July parties, and that's kind of the way they see him. And then actually, it was kind of weird that then Mark went to Miami, and then he was recruiting them. You know what I mean? So it's just
wow.
But there's just great respect, And the weird thing about it, Mark actually benched me at Florida State, and then he hooks me up with his sister. So
Oh man! Hey, you win some, you lose some, man.
For the love of the game,
Right, for the love of the game.
Hey, that's great. That's great. Some cats might hold something over you for that type of shit. That's great.
Kinda cool.
No, but man, it's just like, God, Mark's an awesome guy, and people get to know him. He had 15 straight years where he won over 10 ball games a season, and then gets fired. Like what's good enough? So it's but man, he just impacted lives. That's what I'd say about Mark.
I want to ask you, because you got sons in it, a big time son that plays tight end. You got Max, obviously, is big time talent. Back Duncan, you said, so he's on his way back. Hopefully, T's and P's. I got to ask you, do you see today's athlete shopping around? And you mentioned it earlier, the philosophy of 4 different head coaches at 4 different places has to be ruining the position. And I'm talking specific quarterback position. That we played and coached. I'm seeing the philosophies of 4 places, and it's not just how to take a drop under center versus the gun. I'm talking about weight room philosophy and structure of every single school you go to in 4 years. Then you go to the NFL, and I'm seeing I don't know where you are, but I've been on this kick for a while. Yeah. Greatest athletes we've ever seen at the position, but I think it's the worst the position has ever been. I don't know where you are with that, but I don't see the development. I think we're ruining our kids at the college and high school level as a coach.
Yeah, I was the last pro quarterback to ever take every snap from underneath center with Jon Gruden in Tampa Bay. So now you find the pro coaches they don't do stuff underneath, just the simple stuff from underneath center a lot, because then they got to teach the quarterback how to do it. Now every kid unless you're playing wing tee football in middle school, you don't take a snap. How do you take a victory snap at the end of the game? We'll take a shot.
They're in the gun. Yeah,
they're in the gun. So all that kind of stuff. And then, learning protections and schemes. It's different from coach to coach. And then, so I think that's why the NFL, they have to do a great job of figure out who the kid is more than, putting up big numbers in college. Yeah, obviously you got to be able to throw the ball and those kind of things, but figure out, is the kid, can he process protections, plays, progressions? Is he tough? Can he deal with adversity? What makes him tick? What who is the kid? Because you got to know what makes it. You got to make what have they been through to figure out where they're at. And so coaches are different. They got their own way. I've seen coaches we're only going to read one side of the field. What if it's 1-on-1 on the backside? We got a hand signal going. Throw the hit. No. When you play for that, when you call your own plays, you can do that. Right. Coach, I'm not trying to go against your system. I'm trying to have dialogue and conversation. Right. What's best for our team? So, and then just the meeting time is gone. Weight room structure is different for every kid. It's cookie cutter deal a lot of times instead of specific, what's best for a quarterback, what's best for a lineman, what's best for a DB, what's best for a kicker. So I don't know. It's hard. I'm sitting at home. So I'm not coaching, but
me either.
It's
me
tough,
either. No. Speaking of Gruden, we got a video of you and him, and I wanted to show this video, Bailey, real quick for the audience before I ask the question.
Colt! Super Bowl 37, Brad Johnson. End of the first half, 26 seconds left. I call South right nickel 41, which is a draw play to Michael Pittman. Kill it with 374 Wasp, which is a Max Pro fly stop on the outside. Just take me through that, your recollection and the execution.
South right, nickel 41, killed 374 Wasp. I come up there, they got 7, 8 guys in the box.
Woodson is out, watch for dog.
I see Keenan McCardell over there, one-on-one with Charles Woodson. Yellow 88, yellow 88. Kill!
24 ticks and 1 timeout left for the Bucs.
Blue 45! Blue 45! Say hot!
Woo! Back shoulder.
Caught by McCardell.
Boom!
The first fly stop I ever called against Charles Woodson in the Super Bowl, and it was one of the great bullets ever delivered.
Against Charles Woodson.
Yeah.
That's some balls right there, Brad.
I did.
Big bad Brad.
I don't think I knew who was over there at the time. I just knew it was one-on-one. If I knew it was Charles, I probably wouldn't have gone there. But he was a great Hall of Famer, man. He was elite. So
Keenan played at UNLV with a couple good friends of mine, and so with Randall, that's crazy how he had Randall Cunningham and a bunch of different guys. Man, unbelievable story. I've heard nothing but great ones, man. And Salisbury speaks the world of you and Shaun King, so I can't thank you enough for hopping on with us, man. And hopefully we can do it again. And
this is dope.
Good luck to Max and everybody, man. And hopefully we can get to see you guys soon back on the court, back on the field.
Yeah, no, I appreciate guys, and the time I had with Shaun Salisbury and Shaun King, it was a special time. A lot of friendships there. I mean, obviously on the field, but like just we impacted each other's lives and careers and those kind of things. So it's pretty neat. But appreciate all you guys do and appreciate you having me on the show. Thank you.
We got to have a one-on-one. We got to have a shooting, man. I can shoot him too now.
Let's do it, baby. I'm ready.
What they say about the old whites. Old whites, all we got is a shot.
You got to be able to shoot 2 at one time also now. Check it out. It's all on Twitter. The good stuff's on Twitter. So have fun with that one.
No doubt. Hey, brother, I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
See you later.